Hello fellow introverts, it's Maddie again, and this week I decided to do the name game book tag. So what you do is you take the letters of your name, so M-A-D-I-S-O-N, and then you find a book that starts with that letter. So I had to find a book that starts with M, and a book that starts with A, and so on and so forth. So, here we go. So, my M book is Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert. You might have heard of this book. It's about a girl named Emma, a woman named Emma. And she ends up falling into adultery, and she ends up killing herself, and it's not a spoiler alert because it says so on the back. So, this book is kind of a classic. I know there's a movie or a show that was on Netflix that was based off the book. So I plan on reading it pretty soon, especially because I'm an English major and I'm starting my junior year, so I need to start thinking about my thesis and what I want to do my thesis on. So I'm trying to read a bunch of classics, so Madame Bovary is on my list. My A book is American Gods by Neil Gaiman, and I actually just read this book this summer, and it was amazing because it deals with Greek gods, which I think is awesome. Is it Greek? All kinds of gods. Which I think is awesome because I like that kind of stuff. And it is actually being made into a show in 2017 on Stars. My D book, and I don't actually know if this counts because we're just going to say it does, is the second book in the Poldark series, which is titled Demelza, after Ross's wife, Demelza. And this is by Winston Graham. And I actually watched the show last summer, and it was amazing. So I had to buy the books, and I haven't read the first or second or third book yet, but it is on my TBR, so I will get back to you when I read it. Now my I book I really struggled with because not a lot of books start with a word that begins with the letter I. So I did In the Belly of the Bloodhound, which is the fourth book in the Bloody Jack series. And the Bloody Jack series was actually my first chapter series that I read. And it's about this girl in, I think, about the 1800s, and she dresses up as a guy to get on a ship to join the Navy because women weren't allowed to join the Navy back then. And yeah, she's like 13 or 14, so I was about that age when I started reading it, so that was awesome because I felt like I was Jackie. My S book is Stardust, also by Neil Gaiman, because I am a big Neil Gaiman fan. He's awesome. I love his writing. His stories are just so great. And I actually just read this about 2 weeks ago, and there is a movie called Stardust, and I believe it's the adaptation because there's a lot of similarities, but the movie does not do it justice. So if you were like, oh, movie, okay, definitely read the book because the book was so much better because Neil Gaiman. I feel like the books are just getting better and better as I go through my name, and I'm getting really excited, so it's getting really hard for me to talk. My O book is Outlander by Gabaldon, and this book holds a special place in my heart because it is the book that really started mine and Daisy's friendship. I don't know Daisy Rosenstock. She is a fellow booktuber. I will link her below. And what we did is Daisy introduced the book to me, and she's like, I bought this book, and it's going to be a show, and it's supposed to be really awesome, and you should buy it, and we should read it together. So I bought a copy, and Daisy had a copy, and we'd be reading it, and we'd be like, okay, let's not read past chapter 20. And then we'd get to chapter 20 and be like, oh my gosh, Jamie is perfect, and that kind of stuff. So that was awesome, and and we have still been reading them together. We are on Drums of Autumn? Are we on Drums of Autumn? I don't know. I haven't been keeping up. I've been reading other books now. Anyways, The books are awesome. The show is awesome. Diana Gabaldon is just awesome. Now, for the last book, which is probably my favorite book of all time. And I kind of cheated because the book technically starts with the, but everyone says the word the doesn't count. So I chose to ignore it so I could talk about this book more. And that is Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. And I don't know why I love this book so much, because I don't know. It's an amazing story about this kid, and he's super lost, which I really connected with because I always feel lost, but he is legitimately lost. Love Kvothe and the struggles that he faces and how he deals with them, and just that he keeps going. And I love the writing, and I follow Patrick Rothfuss on Twitter, and he is just such a funny guy. And he's from Stevens Point, Wisconsin, which is like 10 or 15 minutes from my college, which is, I dream of coming across Patrick Rothfuss like at a grocery store and just be like, oh my gosh, Patrick Rothfuss. And I would just like die. Like right there, I would die. I'm not even being dramatic. I would literally die. So, but anyways, that's my name, spelled in book titles, which was actually really fun. So if you are a booktuber and you are watching this and you want to give it a try, go ahead, give it a try. I'm not going to tag anyone because I'm not. I will hopefully have next week's video on time on Friday, because I will not be as busy next week, hopefully. And I am determined to get it out to you guys on Friday. I'm determined. Alright, I'm not going to promise, but I am determined. Okay? So, I will see you guys next week, hopefully. Bye.